Hello everyone, it's Jessica
and Cody
from Jessica and Cody here with another video.
And Halloween season has begun once again. You know what that means? It's time for movies that scare, that mystify, and that just get you in that great Halloween spirit. Today Jessica and I are going to be doing our top 5 Halloween movies.
So we have a few rules. So the first rule is only one per franchise. 2, only films that we have seen and traditionally watched during Halloween season. 3, films will be ranked according to how much they get us in the Halloween spirit, and not necessarily which films are our favorite overall. And number 4, as always, this is just our opinion. Please share with us your favorite movies to watch on Halloween down in the comment section below.
With all that said, we're going to get started and Jessica's going to go first.
Number 5 for me is The Haunted Mansion. This is a Disney movie.
It's with Eddie Murphy, right?
It is with Eddie Murphy. And it's so low on the list for me because while I enjoy it, it's not one that I gravitate toward right away.
Yeah.
It's definitely enjoyable and it really gets me in the Halloween spirit. But it's just not my favorite movie. But overall, it's a hilarious movie and I love to watch it. Eddie Murphy is a gem as always. But I love this movie a lot. It's probably one of my favorites, just not one that I watch every year. Every other year, I think.
Number 5 for me is Batman 1989. This is a film I simply love. It changed the way the world looked at Batman and is still loved to this day by many fans. Out of all the Batman related media and films, Tim Burton really nailed the gothic tone and feel of Batman in his universe, which is why I traditionally watch it during the Halloween season. Keaton comes off as mysterious, threatening, and nightmarish as the Caped Crusader, seeming almost like a demon to those whom he stops. Nicholson comes off as insane, unpredictable, and a threatening wild card as the Joker, becoming a character you're both entertained by and frightened by at the same time. The world and atmosphere is dark, brooding, corrupt, and savage, and it really represents the world that Batman lives in and the kind of world he wants fixed. Not to mention that the cinematography is just super memorable and beautiful. This film does a great job of focusing on the feel of Batman's world and its distinct characters. The set design has such a gothic beauty, and due to the simple story, it really lets you feel the atmosphere of the film more so than any of the other Batman-related films. Lastly, this film just sucks you in and it just never lets you go. It's not the most complex Batman film, but it's still one of the absolute best.
So number 4 for me, and I admit I kind of smudged the rules just a little bit, just this one time though, because my number 4 is Halloween Town 1 and 2, because I literally can't watch one without watching the other. I'm sure everybody knows about Halloween Town 1 and 2. They are massively popular movies. They are one of my favorite Halloween go-to movies. They are just so cute and lovable, and it really brings the Halloween spirit to kids. And this is definitely one that I will watch more than The Haunted Mansion, just because of how cute and innocent it is. 2 gets into a little bit darker territory, but I feel like both of them teach kids lessons while also being fun and not too scary. I also really appreciate the makeup in the 2 movies. I know that some people said that it looks like people are just walking around in Halloween masks. I have to disagree though. I think that the makeup, especially when you were a kid, you honestly think that these people are monsters living in this town. And Benny is always a favorite of mine.
He's the taxi driver, right?
He's the skeleton taxi driver. Yeah. And I think almost all of his stuff is practical, which is why he looks so good even, gosh, I don't know, like 20 years after the movies came out.
Yeah.
But he's just wise. He's a wisecracking skeleton taxi driver, and I was always kind of sad that I never got to experience that in real life. But overall, these are really, really cute movies. They are always on Disney Channel every single time Halloween comes around because they're just so popular. Everybody loves them. And I really can't pick. I love them both equally, so they are both my number 4.
My number 4 is Mad Max Fury Road. I can think of no better film that really captures kind of the fun madness of Halloween. Mad Max's world is a madhouse of great characters, themes, and memorable action that really moves with a frantic pace. The world is interesting, weird, and crazy from the beginning, immediately drawing you in. Max himself is a character who works because, while he's not completely mad, he's definitely felt the effect of the broken world and has given up on his redemption and focuses purely on running away for survival. Furiosa as a character works in a good contrast to Max because while she's also been broken by the world, she wants to provide it a new future through said redemption. It also does a great job of tackling themes of blind faith, biased beliefs, trust, and redemption in very compelling ways. It has everything you could want in an action film, memorable and continual action throughout, a crazy messed up world that you can't help but be pulled in by. It has an amazing visual storytelling and an atmosphere of pure insanity throughout. The film is a thrill ride that you won't want to end, and it's one of my personal favorite films of all time.
So my number 3 is Beetlejuice. This is by far, I think, the most different of everything on my list because it is such a dark comedy. But it's such a good dark comedy. One of my favorite scenes in Beetlejuice, which shows just how dark it is he is in the DMV and he has a number, and his number is 99, and he looks up and number 4 is being called. And he looks over and there's a person sitting next to him, and they just happen to have the next number to be called. So he switches them, and the person puts their hand over his head and his head shrinks and they take the number back, and he's just like, are you serious? I was like, yes. That is by far one of my favorite scenes because what makes it even funnier is there's somebody sitting next to Beetlejuice who also has a shrunken head, and he's trying to talk to him. And then you realize, oh, he also tried to take the person's number, and they were not having it. Michael Keaton is absolute perfection in this role, and it's so funny because he's also Batman. So just to see how vastly different he can play characters is hilarious. And Lydia is just goth princess perfection. Like, who hates Lydia? Nobody hates Lydia. She's perfect. And the final scene where she's dancing in midair next to the stairwell, I just, every single time I watch it, I'm just like, I want to do that. I want to have best friends who are ghosts and can make me float in the air.
Dance around.
Yeah. It's definitely one of my favorites. It definitely gets me in the mood for Halloween. I tend to watch this closer to Halloween just because of how spooky it is.
Yeah.
You know, there are actual ghosts in this one. Ghosts, dead people, Beetlejuice. So I definitely watch this closer to Halloween because it really gets me in the mood. But overall, it's a really, really good movie, and if you haven't watched it, do it.
Number 3 for me is Hellboy. In a world full of monsters and demons, only one person can stop them, and that's Agent Hellboy. This movie is the definition of just kind of pure fun and charisma and a lovable character. He's flawed, relatable, and growing. He's still kind of trying to figure out who he is and what he's supposed to be. The film kind of has this great theme of growing up, letting go, and learning who we are as people. We aren't who society says we are, but who we decide to be is the driving message that really makes Hellboy an effective and a memorable superhero movie, as well as a Halloween movie, along with wonderful themes and a fantastic main character that I just love to death. The film has awesome side characters, great villains. You have the lovable and wise Abe, who I just love to death. You have the love interest Liz, who is probably one of the coolest and most powerful female characters that we really got before, you know, like Wonder Woman, Black Widow. We got all these, now we've got all these powerhouses now, but she was one of the first to really kick that into gear. We also have a villain who can control it when he lives and when he dies and gets joy out of pain. A main villain who challenges who Hellboy is supposed to be. Hellboy's father says he's supposed to be a good man, while the villain says he's a tool for the destruction of all humanity. Yet in the end, it is Hellboy who has to choose who he becomes for the future of the world. The film is full of monsters, action, heart, an amazing atmosphere, great creature designs, and is still regarded as one of Del Toro's best films. I love this film to death.
So my number 2 is the Addams Family movie, the first one, not the second one. And anybody who knows me knows that I really, really, really love the Addams Family. The Addams Family musical is probably one of my favorite musicals of all time. But the movie itself is also just pure perfection. If this doesn't get you in the Halloween spirit, I don't know what's wrong with you, because the Addams Family is literal Halloween in a family. Gomez and Morticia are my literal couple goals in real life, because they are just perfect for each other, because you can see how truly in love they are and how much they really do love each other, and they care for their kids. And you know, Uncle Fester is just, I don't know what he is, but he can make light bulbs light up in his mouth, so, you know, something's up with him. And one of the things that I love about this movie especially, but for the Addams Family in general, is society treats them as outcasts and weirdos, but they're so accepting of everybody. They love everybody. In this first movie, they have a huge fortune, and their banker is trying to steal money from them, but Gomez has sword fights with him every time he comes over, because Gomez loves sword fighting. He wants to make him feel like a part of the family, so he has a sword fight with him every time he comes to the family. They are just so accepting of everybody, even if society treats them like they're the weirdos.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you just see such a loving, warm family dynamic from them. This is also a dark comedy because one of the kids gets electrocuted and he's perfectly fine. So, you know, while you may see something and be like, oh my gosh, it's like, no, they're fine. They're just the Addams Family. I love the Addams Family. I could truly talk about them forever, but I'm trying to keep it short and concise because Cody will kill me. But yes, this is definitely one of my go-to movies throughout the entire year in general. But if I really do want to get in the Halloween spirit, this is probably my second go-to pick.
Points to go.
I have some honorable mentions because there are a lot of movies that I watch around the Halloween season that I wanted to mention even if they aren't in my top 5. So a few of them are, you can just see how all over the place my movie list is The Mummy, just all of the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, there's
every single one. Always gets me in the Halloween spirit. Twitches 1 and 2. My Babysitter's a Vampire, the movie, not the TV show. I consider them two separate entities. Yes. Scream, the original, and Ghostbusters, also the original.
I actually only have a couple of honorable mentions. I guess 3. I'll mention Ghostbusters as well. It's a great Halloween movie. It's just not one that I tend to rewatch much, so it's not on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I have Edward Scissorhands.
It's a good one.
I love that movie. The only reason I didn't really put it on the list is at times I find myself watching it more around Thanksgiving, kind of Christmas time, and not so much Halloween, even though it does kind of have that gothic aesthetic that Burton's known for, so it's not on the list. And then my last one is an awesome Halloween movie for a date night, and that's Warm Bodies. I definitely recommend it. It's just not a film that I am deeply in love with, so I didn't put it on the list.
Yeah, I kind of be in the right mood to watch that one, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
My number one is Hocus Pocus. I love and adore this movie with literally all of my being. I don't think anybody in my life even understands how much I love it. This is a movie that I for sure watch every single year around Halloween and several times throughout the year as well. I even got to see it in theaters on one of their anniversaries. And it was like their 30th anniversary or something. I got to go see it with a coworker and it was really fun. We enjoyed it. But Hocus Pocus is definitely the best Halloween movie to me. The witches are hilarious. I can't tell you how many times I've laughed because the one sister has to ride around on a vacuum. And Binks is literally the best sidekick ever, and he is why I want to name my future black cat Binks, because of this movie. I will say the older I get, the more I kind of am on the main character Max. He's okay. He's definitely my least favorite part of the movie. He's okay, and I still definitely watch this movie even though he's kind of for me. But everybody else in the cast is hilarious and perfect and so on point. This movie, oh man, I love it so much. I don't think anybody really understands. It's pure Halloween perfection. All of the jokes land every single time. This movie is, of course, my favorite, and I highly recommend that everybody should watch it. And even if you show it to kids nowadays and they may not like it, which why? I don't understand. It's a gem of a movie, and it is pure Halloween perfection, and everybody just needs to watch it every Halloween. Every Halloween without fail. It's great. I love it.
So my number one is very, very special to me, and of course my number one has to be The Nightmare Before Christmas. How could it not be? I know the debate will go on forever whether it's a Halloween movie or whether it's a Christmas movie, and you know what? I watch it every year on Halloween, so that's where I'm going with it. It has such a creative world, it has lovable characters, an adorably spooky look and feel. It's just pure magic. The film is more than just a Halloween story to me, it's more than just a movie. This is a magical experience about acceptance, love, and self-discovery. Jack is one of my all-time favorite characters. It's not simply about the Pumpkin King trying to take over Christmas, but it's about a man who is an empty void filled with, no fulfillment. A man who feels hollow but doesn't know why. A man who has done the same thing for years and has always been the best at what he does and yet can't seem to find satisfaction anywhere. He looks for his fulfillment in the magic of the new realm of Christmas, but eventually finds that he still hasn't found acceptance or joy within himself, while constantly looking for something new around the corner. He finally accepts himself for who he is and finds a love who always saw the beauty within him. And together they feel the magic of what Halloween is truly about for me, personally, which is allowing each of us to be who we are, and striving for those little moments of happiness and self-acceptance. Halloween is a time where we can dress up and be whoever we want to be. It's also a time where people can truly express what they love on their sleeve without being judged. And The Nightmare Before Christmas celebrates this, and always fills me not only with a feeling of Halloween, but it helps me to have the acceptance of Halloween all year round. I can't help but love this beautifully cute Halloween love story, and it will forever be the movie I think about when I hear the words, Happy Halloween. All I'm going to say is, well guys, that'll about do it for me. And do you have any closing thoughts or comments?
Yes. So, like I said earlier, these are our own opinions. This list of mine I've been forming for quite a few years. I think I finally settled on my top 5, and I think you have too. So if your favorite movie didn't make the list, we're really sorry. You know, there's a lot of movies out there that we do love. These are just our top 5 personally.
Yeah.
Please let us know what you like down below, because I'm always interested in seeing what other people think. And I hope you guys liked our lists. I hope that you got some ideas for what to watch this Halloween, and yeah.
Most of all, we hope you have a happy Halloween. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you're always notified when a video comes next. And we will see you guys next time.
Have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Be safe. Have lots of
Bye.
candy. Bye.